The very first step to applying your vinyl letters and graphics is to clean the surface thoroughly. Now, you don't want to use any cleaners that you have at home because even though you can't see it, they will leave behind a film on your window, and that will end up being between the window and the vinyl, making it not stick as well. So don't use any cleaners that you have at home. Instead, you'll want to use these cleaners that we provide you in your Vinyl Magic application kit. The first cleaner you're going to use is the deep cleaner. And you just want to spray this on your window, cover the entire surface that you're going to be working with, wait 45 seconds, and then wipe it off. Once you've cleaned with the deep cleaner, you're going to apply the application fluid. This will remove anything that the deep cleaner has left behind. The next step is we're going to place our vinyl about where we want it to go on the door. So to do that, we're just going to put a piece of tape in each corner and then stick it up on the door in the roundabout area where we want it to go. The next step is you're going to figure out the center of your graphic and the center part of your door and line that up so that you'll make sure your graphic is going to be centered on your door. Even though it looks like it might be right now, we might be just a little bit off in one direction or another, and that will be more obvious when we take this mask off. So we want to make sure it's lined up perfectly before we go any further. The first thing I'm going to do is measure the door. It measures 30 inches. So I'm going to put a piece of tape right here in the center at 15 inches because that's the very middle of the door. Now I'm going to put a line right here where the 15 is, so I know exactly on this tape where the center of the door is. Now I'm going to do the same thing with my graphic and measure from one end of the graphic to the other so I can find the center of it. My graphic is 27 inches. So at 13.5 inches, I'm going to put a piece of tape and a line so I know exactly where the center of my graphic is. So as you can see, even though I thought I had lined this up pretty accurately on the door, this is the center of my graphic and this is the center of the door, so I was a little bit off. So what I'll do is just move this over and retape it here where the lines will match up. Now that we know this is in the center of the door, we want to make sure it's level on each side. So to do that, I'm going to measure from the top of the door down to a flat, level part of the graphic on each side and make sure it's the same measurement. Then we'll know it's level all the way across. This side's 12.5, so we'll go to the other side. And it's slightly lower, so I'm going to move it up just a little bit. Now I'm going to go back to the other side because sometimes when you move one side, the other side will move a little as well. $12.5 on both sides. Now we know it's level. Now that we have our graphic exactly where we want it on the door, we're going to hinge this on here to make it stay on here while we actually apply it. You're going to put half the masking tape on the graphic and half of it on the window. All the way across. Once you have it hinged, you can lift it up and see that you can pull the graphic up to work underneath here, but it's going to stay in place because of the hinge tape up here. Now that the graphic is hinged, we're going to take the application fluid and coat the surface where the graphic's going to go. We're going to start to remove the backing paper and squeegee down the graphic with the squeegee that we provide in your Vinyl Magic application kit. You want to start from the center and you want to work slowly. Don't pull all the backing off at once if you have a large graphic like this. Pull it a little bit at a time and squeegee it down. That will help to prevent from getting bubbles or wrinkles in your graphics. As you start to lay it down, be sure to pull the rest of the graphic tight. That will also help to prevent from getting any bubbles. Now that I've removed the backing from this, the vinyl is attached to the window, but I'm gonna let this set for a little while before I remove the masking from it. So I'm gonna go ahead and place my next piece of vinyl on the window, measuring it out and using all the same techniques I did with the first piece. I've measured and placed this piece of vinyl so it's center on the window and it's also level on each side using all the same techniques I did earlier. I've also hinged it, so now I'm ready to start removing the backing. But before I do that, I'm going to cut this piece of vinyl so that it's easier to lay. It's convenient to cut after you already have them taped and hinged. That way you don't have to measure two separate pieces. You've measured once, cut once, and now you're ready to lay. So just as we did before, I'm going to take the application fluid and coat the surface underneath the vinyl. You don't have to worry about drying the application fluid once it's there. It will help you lay the vinyl and pull it back up and relay it if you need to. Now I'm going to start removing the backing. And once again from the center, with a lot of pressure, I'm going to squeegee down. Now that we've waited for this to dry on here, it's time to remove the masking from the top. To make it easier, once again, we're going to use this application fluid, and you're just going to want to coat the surface. This will allow that masking to release from your vinyl graphics and making it easier to pull that up without peeling the vinyl up. You just want to pull it slow and easy and pull it down at an angle. Now you're just going to pull off your last few pieces of masking tape and your vinyl letters are finished. Now if you happen to mess up any letters along the way when you're first putting them on, just let us know. We'll send you replacement letters free of charge. We'll even pay the additional shipping cost. We call it our goof-proof guarantee.